What is up, everybody? Luis here. Hope you are having a wonderful day. So, we all know that mortgage interest rates have gone up, and that is causing the demand for housing to go down. So, what does that mean for current home buyers? Are they going to end up getting their home at 50% discount because the demand has decreased, or will prices continue to go up through the roof and to the moon? In this video, I want to look at the latest housing numbers and the effects that the higher mortgage interest rates are having on the housing demand. All right. So let's jump right into it. Currently, the demand for housing has decreased, is on the decline, and that's because the mortgage interest rates are higher. However, is that really a bad thing? Not really, not entirely, at least, because now it's not bad for the current home buyers, the ones that are out there currently shopping, making 20 offers, sometimes $200,000 over asking, and still not getting their offer accepted. So again, it creates an opportunity because now you have less buyers because there are more buyers sitting on the sidelines. And that is because they believe there's going to be some sort of crash, like 2008 crash, where you're going to be able to buy your home at 50%. So that imagine that $1 million or that $1.5 million home where you buy it at 750,000. Wouldn't that be amazing? It'd be a dream come true, but I don't believe that to be the case. And for that, we don't even have to go that far back. Just go back to 2018. Remember, in 2018, we had a decline of about 20%. And that's because the mortgage interest rates went up to about 5.5%, which is where they're at right now. So they went up 5.5%, and we had a 20% decline. And what happened? As soon as the rates dropped, the demand for housing went right back up. And within 6 months, all those losses were recovered. And those that bought at the peak in 2018, at the height before that little crash that we have or correction that we had, are now sitting at like 25% appreciation from the original purchase date of 2018. So it's incredible. And that's why I don't believe that to be the case. There is no crash coming. So again, this creates such a great opportunity. But what if the 2008 crash happens all over again? What then? I get asked all the time. So to that, I say that the chances of that happening are pretty much slim to none. And this is why. In Santa Clara County in 2008, the average or the median home price was 800,000. All right. After the crash, it went down to about 500,000. That represents about a 35% decrease. Now, what was different then compared to today? Let's start with the S&P 500. S&P 500 dropped about 50%, half. That is carnage level. Also, unemployment was up to about 10%, which is huge. That's tremendous. Today, we don't have that. We're actually record low unemployment. And then the S&P 500, although it has sort of crashed at 20%, it's nothing compared to 50% from 2008. Also, think about all the multiple bank failures back then. So we're not even close to that. And even with all that economic mess, we dropped about 35% in equity, which is bad. I get it. It was bad. Now, today the median home price is $1.8 million in Santa Clara County. If we did have that 2008 crash, we'd lose about 35%, and the prices would drop to about 1.2 million, which is where the prices were right before the pandemic. So this 35% drop in equity would only happen if we experienced that 2008 carnage, which, let me tell you, we're nowhere near. For one, we don't have subprime loans this time around like we did then. The NINA, the SEVA, the state and income verified asset, the option arm, all those are nowhere to be seen. Okay, they've been eradicated. Two, record low unemployment. Back then we had record high unemployment. This time we have record low. Three, rates were much higher back then. I mean, I was locking loans at that time at 7.5%, and that was great. And then finally, another factor is demographics. We have the two largest demographics in US history, which are the millennials and the baby boomers that are in need of homes. For one, the millennials, they're entering their 30s and they're looking to buy a home because they're starting a family. They want they need the space, they want to get married, so their careers are set, so they need housing. And baby boomers on the other end of the spectrum are living a lot longer and obviously are in need of their homes. So this creates a shortage, which increases the demand for housing, which increases the prices. In addition, the demand for housing is still on an upward trend, which is going to cause an even greater shortage. Let's take a look at this chart that I pulled up to illustrate that. Now, let's keep in mind that the average, without sounding morbid, all right, the average death age in the US is about 80 years old. So if we look at the silent generation here, where it says 80, you'll see that it starts off like at 1.5 million. But as you can see, there's an upward trend here where it peaks out at 4.3 million. Now, those baby boomers or that population, that demographic is currently about 59 to 60 years old. So we have about 20 years before this demographic peaks. Now, that means that these houses will not hit the inventory. On the contrary, it's tightening up. Baby boomers need their houses longer, they're living longer, and that inventory is not going to be available, so it's going to create a shortage. On the other end, if we look at the average age of a millennial household that is looking to buy a home, getting married, starting a family, it's about 32 years old. Now, 32 years old is right about here, about 4.6 million. And that is still yet to peak. It's going to peak in another 5 years. Currently, they're about 20. Those same millennials that are will eventually buy in 4 or 5 years are 28 years old. So that means there's still a demand, an increasing demand. Also, builders are unable to keep up with the demand. They can't build fast enough. So, based on all of these factors and all of this data, I seriously find it hard to believe that this is going to be the worst economic decline in US history. So, while it can happen, it's very unlikely. So, in short, how does this benefit you as a home buyer? Well, it creates such a great opportunity because instead of competing with 30 offers on that listing that you fell in love with, on that house that you fell in love with, now you're competing with two or three or maybe four at the most. And then you're likely not having to go $200,000 over asking and still not getting the house that you want, still not getting your offer accepted. And on top of it all, I'm seeing an upcoming decline in mortgage interest rates. And we all know it's just a matter of time before it happens, right? And with that, the demand is going to go right back up, just like it did in 2018. And the prices are going to go up. And you don't want to pay a higher price, right? So remember, you can always refinance into a lower rate once you have your home. So even if it takes a year, it does make sense. And if you are unclear what those numbers look like, just reach out and I will sit down with you and I'll run those numbers and then we can strategize on the best approach for you. All right. So, with that, I'll end it right about now. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. I'm hoping this was very helpful for you. And please reach out if you have any questions or simply want to say hi. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.